morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fifth session of the GCC Forum on Entrepreneurial, the future of entrepreneurs in the GCC region. We have had, I think, fantastic early morning presentation by Dr. Naik, very much liked it, and I think we have a real case study today to talk about whether they are on the break at all. Our subject today will be about models and case studies. And I have with me three experts in the line, either of mentoring people who will talk to us about a few of the case studies they have done, or others will talk about models of how to help your businesses going forward. I prefer that we have this session to be totally interactive with you. So I have asked the participants here, speakers, to talk for 5 minutes each. I will come back to you to either ask your questions, share your success story, or maybe you want to ask them a question so that you can learn for the future. So let's have a total interactive session this morning. You can speak either in Arabic or English. It's very easy, I think. Just you need to grab a microphone and ask for speaking. I will give you only 2 minutes to speak. As I said, raise a question. Share with us your success story, because here the whole idea today is to hear from each other why we believe we are successful, or where are the areas we need to concentrate to be another successful case, like what Naif just shows us in the last 40 minutes. Let me start by Professor Allen, and I'm sure in the booklets you have there are small bio and CVs about the speakers. So Professor Allen will give us 2 case studies where he himself was involved, and let's see how he was helping our entrepreneurs in the UK.
Thank you so much, and good morning everyone. Let me start by saying what a great privilege and pleasure it is for me to be here with you all. I haven't been in Bahrain since 2010, but it's wonderful to be back, and I'd like to thank the Development Bank in Bahrain for making it possible for me to join you here, and I'm learning a lot. So, this is story time, okay? True stories, 2 of them, very, very fast. Practice, not theory, and I was engaged in both. The first one, the first case is a story of an SME that became a multinational company. And I think we want lots more of our SMEs to become larger, don't we? This is Domino Printing Sciences. I take you back a few years to a technical development company called Cambridge Consultants, which was given funding by ICI to develop a color inkjet printer system and a wonderful, fantastic idea of instant wallpaper. Go into the shop, design your wallpaper, print it, and come out with it under your arm. It never happened, of course, that way. 6 years of funding happened for this technology company and project, and my friend, a Cambridge graduate engineer, was the project leader. And guess what happened? He went to the office one day, and the boss called him in and said, "Very sorry, Graham, ICI have pulled the plug. No more money, no more job for you." Is it a disaster or is it an opportunity? He actually immediately took a decision not to be an engineer anymore, but to be an entrepreneur. And he took a license on the technology. He had a second mortgage on his house. He started the company in a rented garage to make inkjet printers for the printing industry. He developed a product very rapidly, but he struggled because the printing industry didn't buy enough of his products. However, a year into the life of the company, there were regulatory changes in the packaging and pharmaceutical industry, where some of you will remember suddenly it was necessary to put a lot of variable information on products, best before date, expiry date, and all that stuff. So, from nowhere came a big market that he had not anticipated. It was unforeseen and it was huge. And he took advantage of it because he had a product. I joined the company at that time. There was venture capital funding. We mobilized the management team. I became the CEO. International connections were made, and it was very, very rapid growth. And in 1985, there was an initial public offering on the London Stock Exchange, which was 43 times oversubscribed. And by then, the sales exceeded $10 million, 20%, 28% return on sales. Today, the market cap is about 750 million. There are 3,500 people employed. 90% of the business is outside the UK. It is still going strong, unbroken growth in sales and profits. The entrepreneur has retired with his just desserts. So that is case one. Now, case two is a present-day case. A company called Cambridge Healthcare, very, very different than the one I just described. Just over 1 year old, spinning out from our National Health Service, responding to government health reforms. In our country, the government is really pressing to put the patient at the center of the health service. Patient self-care, patient education and training, patient home care. The entrepreneur that I'm working with on this is 26 years old. He is digital man, if you know what I mean. Very, very brilliant software developer. And he and I started the company. I was chairman at the time of the National Health Service Innovation Council. I was his coach and am his coach and mentor, connector, and fundraiser. We raised £200,000 from private investors, business angels, and just the two of us, and we hired in part-time a finance director. He rapidly has created a web portal aimed at patient engagement and connecting patients to doctors and carers. It's the social network of healthcare. It's a Facebook-friendly design. And we have the domain name www.howareyou.com. It's up and running. You can visit the website. You can see, you can register if you want to. Now this month, just before I left, we raised £1 million of venture capital money, half of it from Luxembourg, from the fund that invested in Skype, and the other $500,000 from a Malaysian family fund. The National Health Service patients are signed up. It's expanding internationally. New Zealand Health Service wants it. And my young entrepreneur friend is right today in Beijing starting a company in China, and we just signed an exclusive contract with Microsoft Health Vault, which is about to be announced. So, watch this space. What is my interest in all of this? Have I taken money out? No, I have not. I have 10% what I call sweat equity. So I'm taking equity from my input. So, very quickly now, what are the key success factors? I've talked very fast, but if you can think back with me, common to both, you will find this: an addressable market, problems in the market waiting to be solved, large markets. Timing, in each case, critical and perfect timing for the entry of these companies. In the first case, the regulatory development created a huge opportunity. In the second case, the government policy on health reforms demanded services which have been provided. Thirdly, technology and products. Innovative and effective products, on time, competitive, and early to market. After that, mentors, coaches, advisors, talent, available people to mobilize teams very quickly. Networks, connections. Supportive local infrastructure in where I live in Cambridge is wonderful, and there is an entrepreneurial ecosystem in place. Neither was long in planning, both were highly opportunistic, no fat business plans, and we avoided or circumvented bureaucracy, swept away obstacles and barriers with the entrepreneurial mindset. And I make that point my last point because I think it is so critical, and that was a lot of imagination. Not a word we heard too often yesterday, but maybe we should have heard it more. Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Determination and resourcefulness. And my final words are the words of a very, very great Irish writer, because when people ask me, can you define entrepreneurship, I give this story of George Bernard Shaw in his London house with a young man who was asking him numerous stupid questions. And he became very tired of it. And he said, shut up, young man. And he said, you look at things and ask why. But I dream of things that never were and ask why not. And my contention to us all is that entrepreneurs do need to dream of things that never were and ask why not and make it happen. And those are my two cases.
Thank you, Dr. I think that was excellent 2 case studies. Very simple one. I love the first one more because I'm a legislator. Normally when we put laws, we build a lot of obstacles. This young gentleman used the change of law to really benefit out of that and went and did his fantastic innovative idea. So it is just the opportunity that this young man went out of the office, didn't go back home, didn't cry. He went and fight for it. And here he is. He have got 750 million pounds capitalization in the market. That was a great idea. Thank you very much. I think one thing we need to thank Professor Alam for, that he have acted as a mentor to these two gentlemen. And I think one lesson I have learned, and I'm sure you will be looking for, is who will be your mentor in your ideas. And we'll talk about that at a later stage. Dr. Hanadi will talk to us not about a case study, but about the role of incubators. We have so many of them in the region. She will tell us whether these are working or not, and how could you, as entrepreneurs, can benefit out of that. Dr. Hanadi.
Good morning. I would like to speak about the best practice of the business incubations in the GCC. Business incubation, I will start by definition because maybe the audience is not aware from the definitions of business incubation. This definition is not my definition, this is the World Bank definition. The definition of business incubation is a physical location that provide a set of services for the startup company or for SMEs. And the type of services will be space, access to technology, financial support, and also legal and human resources. I will speak briefly about the evolution of incubators in the GCC, especially in the GCC. The age of business incubations is 50 years ago in the United States, and it's born in the United States. And the evolution started in the GCC in, first of all, in Kuwait, there are semi-incubations, it's not incubations, as estimations from the United States, it's semi-incubations, as we call it, vocational incubation. But the first incubation started in Bahrain in 2003. It is, we call it Business Incubation Center, under the support of Development Bank. And this is the official incubations in the GCC. After that, there are a Badr from the Saudi Arabian. They started with the Badr technology incubators in 2008. And at the same time, parallel started with the Qatar Science Park in 2008. And now the Qatar Science Park in connections with, or we can call it a joint venture with the United Kingdom Science Park. Also in the Oman, they started Knowledge Oasis in the Muscat, and there are a very big incubations program. Part of it we highly demand concerning in the petroleum productions. And also there are two main players in the GCC. It's working in the incubation is Khalifa Fund and the Association of Mohammed bin Rashid bin Maktoum in Dubai. They started an incubations program or SMEs program in 2008 and 2009. And this is its evolutions of the business incubations in the GCC. I would like to conclude about the business incubation. And I think you use it in your life. The most important thing, you know what is the outcomes of this one. Now, the business incubations, it's the outcome of business incubation. It's a potential tool for economic development. And the economic development, we can use it or we can lead to long investment. We cannot looking for after 5 years or 10 years, we look what is happening in the incubation. We're looking as a long investment. And this will lead for self-sustainability. And this is what actually all the world working about self-sustainability. Second thing, the second outcome from the incubations is diverse the economy. And this is what we're looking for. We don't want to concerning on the petroleum outcomes. And the third thing is fostering the entrepreneurship, what you already discussed in this conference yesterday in a detail. We need to have entrepreneurship climate. I mean, we need the climate first. And the number 4, it's job creation. The SMEs is giving us job creations. And the last not least is the innovation. I would like to saying one word. In 2010, in the White House, they writing a statement, innovations is the driver of the new futures. And this is the statement of the White House, not only in the White House in 2010. The second thing is also the Europe is working in the same plan, while the Bahrain is working in 2030. Also the Europe working about the smart growth. And this is what is the outcomes also from the incubations or from the SMEs. To reach smart growth, we need to to have economy based on the knowledge and innovations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hanadi. I think the message I can get from Dr. Hanadi is that we have enough incubators. It is only for us to make use of these incubators all over the GCC countries. There is enough funds. Again, how we as entrepreneurs can make use of that fund. And I'll give you some time to think of real case studies where you have been using the incubators in your country, and maybe you can stand up and share with us the plus and minuses and how these incubators have helped you to come up with your ideas and develop it to where it is today. Let me go back now to Mr. Omar Ouz. He will talk to us quickly about the Turkish model, and he will give us one case study of success. Omar.
Thank you. I would like to thank Bahrain Development Bank for inviting me. Actually, Bahrain is my second home. I stayed here for 5 years. Now I'm back to Turkey. I don't like talking about models. Models is model, but I would like to share Turkish experience. It is for policymakers, not for entrepreneurs. And after 3 minutes, I will talk about a case study. Actually, in 1987, we have established an organization called COSGAP. COSGAP is SMIDO. It is for Small and Medium-Sized Industry Development Organization. As you know, SMEs, they need lots of things. They need help in different areas. They need training, they need qualified people, they need technical assistance. So in order to solve this problem, we established COSGAP in 1987, and we established it by a special law. This law enabled us to act very dynamically, because when you deal with SMEs, you need speed. And we are receiving our budget from the government, but we are run by an executive committee. This executive committee, we have 11 representatives, and this, at the top of the executive committee, is the Minister of Industry. So we have 37 incubators. We are running 37 incubators. We have one-stop shops in 68 different provinces of Turkey. So if you are interested, it will be a good idea to look at our website. It really helps the policymakers. It gives them some kind of guidance how to support SMEs. This is the COSGAP part of it. Now I am going to talk about what can go wrong in the incubators, or how when you stop supporting innovative ideas. What is innovation? What's the difference between inventor and innovation? Inventor invents something without thinking any value of it. Inventor is not after money. Innovator take this idea and turn into an economic value. But sometimes they overlap. Like Edison, he was an inventor and innovator. So when it comes to supporting innovation, how you evaluate this idea? For example, I have this with me. What is this? This is to, oops, sorry. Okay, anyway, this is to clean your glasses. Okay, this is an innovation. But what does it give to the economy? Is it a big value? Okay, it will make this man rich, but does it make an impact in the economy? So what we usually after is the innovation, which is technology-based, value-added innovation. There, we sometimes, as an SME support professionals, we sometimes overlook. We cannot see the future like the entrepreneurs does. For example, in Turkey, you know, this is a LED light. Before 10 years, we had lots of application about, let's do something about this kind of things, LED lights. We said, no man, this is not useful. How you can replace the original bulb? We were very narrow-minded. So I think what kind of model you create, it's the people who are running this model should be champions as well, and they have to think out of the box. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this is an excellent idea. I want to see what do you have in the other pocket.
Okay.
Fantastic idea. What Omar is telling us, there is nothing to be called one single model to follow. It is you, the innovator, the entrepreneur, can decide how you want to do your business, how you want to implement your idea. Just make use of what is available, whether it is laws, training, mentoring, technical assistance, funding, and so on. It is your idea. It is you who will do it or make it happen or no. Now we have heard from our experts 2-3 case studies, 2 models, incubators, and what's happening in Turkey. I want to hear from the audience. Can I see somebody who will be the first one? Dr. Ahmed, please. I was looking at you. Can I have a microphone, Dr. Ahmed, here?
Thank you, Mr.
Dr. Ahmed Al-Ghani is the Deputy CEO of Tamkeen. He's a sponsor and one of the most successful people development and business development programs in Bahrain.
Thank you, Jamal. I think what we need, and this is what we're planning at Tamkeen, is we need a holistic solutions for, we'll take, young who has very creative, innovative ideas, and we will evaluate their concepts and then train them to do a business plan, and from business plan we do a feasibility study. If it's feasible, then we will give him an incubator, and in the incubator we will give him a lot of grants, plus a mentor, and we make sure that in 2 years' time, somebody is holding his hand and he graduates as someone who contributes to the smart growth. And this is what this is what we need. We need a holistic solution. Incubator by itself or training by itself is not enough. So we need some holistic solution to, change the innovative ideas into, or give innovative ideas a legs to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So do you do the full solution then?
This is what we are planning, and this is what will be launched in the future. Very soon.
Who have made use of Tamkeen's money here? Just raise your hand. Why? Very few. Come on, guys. Ladies, come on. Very few. They have approximately every year, they collect 50 million dinars. And they need somebody like you guys to spend all the money well. So go to Tamkeen. Really, I'm serious about that. Go to Tamkeen. They are the best people to hold your hand, and they'll make you a real success. It says, they have fantastic partnership again with BDB. So please go to them, and because they are the ones who will make you see your idea into reality. One more case study, or one more, please, from Oman. Microphone here, please, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you.
Shukran. Thank you very much. In Oman, it works very well in terms of as a pilot project. There is a case study whereby we have the incubator, which is a combination work between the industry segment, which is the PIE, so Public Authority for Industrial Zones, and the university. So we have a lot of professors, university teachers, as well as the technical and financial support that you get from the research council, the government, and then the incubatee themselves, the innovators. It works very well in terms of a pilot project. But what is important is once we establish the success story, that we spread it. all over the country. And of course, this is what is being, I think, in the go now. But to claim that in the Gulf, that we have everything that takes to create a proper incubator framework, I think this is a wrong claim. We need to learn. We need to learn from experience of people like South Africa. Currently, South Africa is a very leading country in the world, whereby they are graduating a lot of these success stories to the world. Okay, so I think this is what we should do. I mean, the South African government have shown us their experience, and I think they're doing very well. We need to learn from people like Ireland and people like Singapore and Malaysia, people who have similar environment like us. But I think the current system, be it financial or structural, does not support the holistic approach that we're looking for. I think we are still in the process of looking for the right model.
Thank you very much. I like your what you have said. I think others would like to comment on that, but Omar is wants to say something. 2 minutes, okay. Omar, please.
In incubation, you will rightly say that incubation by itself, incubator by itself, will not help everything. We are not after incubator. Incubator is a physical space. We are talking about incubation, which in Bahrain model, this is what it was designed for. You start from the training, capacity building, coaching. Incubation is the last stage. So it's a circle, and by itself, incubator doesn't make too much value. And it is good to share experience with other countries like South Africa, Ireland. But no incubator is same, even if they are in the same country. You have to design your incubator according to your needs, according to your resources, according to your social economic environment. So it is, of course, very nice to see the success, but there is no one answer, no best incubator that you can take it to your country and implement it. So, in general, incubator is a concept that died in 1990s. Now we are talking about incubation. For incubation, sometimes you don't even have to have a physical spaces. You can have virtual incubation as well.
Message is,
okay.
I think, reached. Dr. Allen.
I just wanted to comment on the two floor comments, because the first point about Tamkeen and your point about available finance is very important, because in my experience, and I know that in some parts of the world there is more money available than others, of course, but in my experience, the really, really good plans and the really, really good entrepreneurs find the money. But yesterday we talked about education, and people say to me, can you teach entrepreneurship? And I give them a question in return. I say, do we teach art? Art is creative. Entrepreneurship is creative. No. We help the entrepreneur with the toolkit like we help the artist with the brushwork. We give him the tools to make his plan work. And the second speaker, I think, very, very nice word. I love the word holistic, because the ecosystem that we find in places that do support entrepreneurship more effectively is joined up. Academia, education, business, government, really working well together in order to support the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
I'll come back to Nadal, but I want also to comment on the gentleman from Oman. He referred to the universities, to the doctors at universities. How many doctors from universities do we have here today? One, two,
one is
three,
there.
4, 5,
Mr.
10.
Adel.
Excellent. Do you act as
What is
mentors?
Dr. Adel?
Do you act as mentors? Ahmed, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of the 11, we have 6 who act as mentors. Excellent. So 50%. This is really what we want to see, is that these entrepreneurs need somebody to help them, to mentor them. And this is really the role of the academia universities to help us and to link really between education and the businesses and so on. Nidar wants to say something. Can I have microphone here, please? He's the boss. Quick.
Shukran, thank you. I just have a few comments to make on what we've just heard. Two issues. One is the need for coordinated efforts within the ecosystem. It's very important that the structures are really integrated in many ways so that the delivery to the SME is at its best. I would like to make also comment on the Tamkeen approach. In fact, let me re-emphasize that Bahrain Development Bank Group to provide the full solution and support, including mentoring. I've heard yesterday somebody saying there's no mentoring. No, there is a mentoring. We have a big advisory team that follows up from the training with the entrepreneurs to follow through. Not only that, when we do the financing, which is the third stage of our support mechanism, which is what we call the Arab world or Bahrain model for development of entrepreneurship, that's been used now by UNIDO worldwide as a good model for developing countries and even developed countries. Let me tell you a little bit more, if I may. I've been to Italy and I've went to a workshop and I've told them what Bahrain offers in terms of full support mechanism, and they were shocked, surprised that this kind of mechanism is not available in Italy itself. Now, I just want to say that we always are very hard on ourselves. We're always very critical of our structures, and we think that's not enough and all. Look around the world. There's not as much or 1/10 of what's being provided in the GCC. Now, the mechanism needs to be developed, I agree, but we should not be so impatient. And I think we should work together with Tamkeen. Tamkeen should, in fact, put their funds with BDB to strengthen the support mechanism instead of establishing a duplicate. That's my opinion.
Now, this is the big issue I want to debate with Ahmed and you. How to work between Tamkeen and BDB. Can I ask one of them from the academia here to talk to us how he is mentoring, a real case study, how did he mentor an entrepreneur? Anybody?
Dr. Adel,
Sorry?
raise hand.
Where is that?
Professor
Please.
Adel.
Yeah. If you can. Microphone there, please. Two minutes.
Assalamu alaikum. So the question was mentoring.
How would the academia really mentor or help an entrepreneur into his project?
First of all, I would like to say that like any University of Bahrain, there are a lot of talented students that have great ideas, a lot of energy, and they do have the capability and innovation. So what we saw in their senior projects, that they have viable projects to go into the market. And we saw companies that were interested in those projects. So that's one side of it. Now, how to mentor them? You need to catch them early. And you need to look at what their aspirations are, right in the beginning. And then, while they're working on their senior projects, try to guide them through the right path such that when they finish, they've got a viable product, or let's say not a complete product that would go to the market, but at least they have a target for the market. So you need to really go out and reach to the students rather than wait for them to come to you. It's a different way and a different approach of mentoring. I think Professor Alan Barrell is trying to comment on it.
He's jumping to comment here. Yeah. He can't wait. Anyway, please go on.
Yes, I wanted to make the point. Mr. Nadal has been to Cambridge quite recently and seen how we run our Centre for Entrepreneurial Learning, and I am named Entrepreneur in Residence, one of 20 volunteers who give our time to the next generation when called upon. And the important thing is that we mentors We're not over proud of it, but we are practitioners. The academics, bless their hearts, not always have been in a business, so they don't know necessarily the hard stuff. All of our entrepreneurs in residence are practitioners.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just finish going to the specifics of it. As Professor Barrow said, I mean, a mentor really need to have some background in business, and for myself, I come from a business family, so I can appreciate what needs to be done. So what I usually do personally, this is my personal experience, is sit with each group or each individual who has an idea and try to find or to guide them into a product that they can market, because they will have a lot of ideas, especially students, and they can change their ideas in a flash. So you need to sit with them and first guide them to concentrate on what they want to do and put it on paper. And that's the most important thing at the early stage, is to have a business plan.
Thank you, Doctor. I mean, I have this feeling that really we don't have maybe a special unit or department at the university which will cater for the entrepreneurs. Am I right in that?
Well, the university has established a business incubator center, a knowledge-based business incubator center, which is working with the Bahrain Development Bank, and we do use the services of the business advisory in the bank.
Excellent.
And we are very grateful for that.
Thank you, Doctor. Any comments? Yes, please, in the back. Sorry. Yeah. Microphone there in the back. One more academic, I think.
Sorry, my name is Dr. Ahmed Mukhtar. Okay, first of all, good morning for everyone. I'm actually looking at the strategic point of the business, and I've been working as professor in Bahrain, in Gulf and Europe. I worked in the army a lot, so I'm taking, also I have been an entrepreneur myself when I was 15 years old. One of the basic things what I found, I have a company that deals with so many SMEs in the region, from business plan and feasibility. In the last 4 years, we have other problems that we, our entrepreneurs, they didn't look at it. And those are economical turmoil and political turmoil. The economical turmoil have affected a lot of income of the public and the expenditure, liquidity, and affected most, or according to my findings, 70 to 80% of things in the whole region and other parts of the world. So what I'm telling you now, most of the entrepreneurs, they have, or the feasibility study, they have to look at the PSEL, P-E-E-E-S-T-L-E, which are factors, and how long this, maybe I asked the panel, professor and others, how long those factors, the economical turmoil, what's going in the world, in the countries, and the political unrest could affect the development of SMEs on a safe path and development. Thanks, dear.
Thank you. Alan?
Yes, is there a question?
There was a question. Dr. Ahmed, can you just repeat your question?
My question is actually basically, when we do the feasibility or business plan for any SMEs, we used to look at the factors which are the finance and those things. But from 40 years now, we have a different trend. And this trend did not happen from last years. One of them are the economical turmoil was going in the world, and that affects the whole thing, even in the region. The second thing is the political unrest in Arab countries and other workplaces that could affect the SMEs developments. What is your opinion, please?
Yes, I mean, the business plan, I see so many business plans that are a waste of time. They're badly written, they're corrupt, they're not honest, they tell me nothing. The company I mentioned that just raised £1 million from Malaysia and Luxembourg has no business plan. The people were looked at by the investors, the business was looked at in terms of the product and the vitality, and the money was invested. So that is one very important thing. And I think your point about the financial aspect of the business plan is a very important one. You must look well beyond the numbers. The numbers can be changed by pressing a key. And it's really not the numbers that will drive the business forward. It's the idea or the product, as our friend has said, from Turkey. So that is absolutely right. And I think also listening to people here speaking about your region, which is quite a large region in terms of people, I had this thought in my head yesterday: is it possible for you, as you're doing at this meeting, to go on sharing your best practice information in a rather constructive way by even, I might suggest, having a Gulf Entrepreneur Academy established? That may be a rather outrageous thought, but it's one I had.
Good.
Excuse me.
Yeah, please.
Just I need to comment on it. Recently, we call the business plan, it's goodbye, the business plan. Actually, in response also to Dr. Ahmed in Temkeen, I don't want to interrupt your... now it's no more for the business plan. Why? Because there are a new tool, we call it a visual tool. This is a radar continuing all the breakdown with the categories. You're sitting with the entrepreneur and you're taking each category step by step with the detail. Then this is the revision of the business plan, because actually what is happening, the business plan, it's no more effective. Why? Because you put some data and you plug in and you call some company to do it for you. There are problems, maybe it's more than that. It's you submit, you take the business, the entrepreneur going for the consultancies to preparing the business plan, and they took it from the consultancies, submitted to you to get funded. When he submitted to you, he don't know what is the breakdown and what is the figures inside this one, and if it's really will be implemented. And after a while, let's say after 3 months or 6 months, actually everything will be changing. Market will be changed, policy will be changed, many things will be changing. Then no more effective or no more activations for the business plan. And now actually in the United States and everywhere, we call it goodbye the business plan. And there are some tools, we call it visual tool. I can show you, and I'll be a first advisory in the GCC for this tool to give a presentation. And actually we highlight Bahrain University. Maybe in the following month I should present this new procedures or a new process for the business development.
Thank you, Dr. Hani, for sharing this information. Ms. Shubber, we have a young lady here with her scarf. She will talk to us about her scarf technology. Please.
Good morning. My name is Nada Alawi Shubbar, and I wanted to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. And most of you here are academics or policy makers and things like that. And you talked a little bit about, Dr. Ahmed, I think somewhere in the back, about political turmoil. Entrepreneurs always look at the glass half full. We never look at the glass half empty, right? I mean, that's the first rule of entrepreneurship. If you're negative, I suggest don't be an entrepreneur, right? When there is summer, when there's winter in a place, there's spring somewhere else, or there's summer somewhere else. So what's limiting us here in Bahrain or the GCC is we look at ourselves as a local market and not a global market. Whenever we prepare an idea for entrepreneurship, it should, in my opinion, it should face the world and not the local community, sort of speak. And this is what our keynote speech this morning was about, that we should look at the world as our market and not our small local community, and always to think positively. And also, entrepreneurs will have guts. Yes, they will need some nurturing in the beginning, but then they're gutsy. They're not going to wait for anybody to help them or assist them. They're going to find ways to make things happen. And right?
You. That was excellent. I think this was excellent to close our session with. One thing I want to say really is that the entrepreneurs are really a risk taker. With Dr. Naif, when he said he have taken a risk to take this idea into the international market, to develop in it, to invest in it, you are guys, gentlemen, you are a risk takers. So please take the risk, but take a calculated risk. Don't fear and don't go very fast. This is my last word to you. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thanks to my audience, to the audience, to the speakers, and